Are you familiar with fruit? Honestly, I'm not really, except for the fruit that I eat. But when we were raising our family in our home in Waterloo, we had this big backyard, and we had lots of trees. And kind of nestled back against the tree line at the very back of the lot was this tiny cherry tree. It was kind of blocked by the big maples and the big oaks that were also on that property. But inevitably, year after year, that cherry tree would bear fruit. It would bear cherries. In the springtime, it would blossom with these cherries, and then inevitably every fall, they would wither up and they would drop to the ground. Now, the cherries weren't really edible, and they weren't really good for much, except my kids would use them as artillery to throw at each other. And in the fall, they would create a bit of a mess as I would be cutting the grass, kind of sopping them up. But here's the thing about that tree. That tree didn't follow a list of rules on how to produce fruit. It was organic. The sun, the rain, the nutrients from the soil would be picked up by the roots and flow all throughout the rest of the tree. It produced fruit because that's what trees do, living trees. They produce fruit. And you know, that's a lot like our lives. Our lives alive in God allows us to produce fruit. God's Spirit in us produces fruit. And the Apostle Paul talks about that in Galatians 5. It's called the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, gentleness, self-control. The list goes on. And really, those fruit are all about character. And character is something that we don't put as much emphasis on in our world today, is it? Even in the church. Instead, we are so busy being concerned about what we do instead of being concerned about who we're becoming. Have I piqued your interest a little bit? I want to invite you to join us this Sunday as we continue in our message series entitled Deep Breath, Life in the Spirit. And we're going to talk a little bit more about what the Apostle Paul meant about the fruit of the Spirit and what it means for our lives.